Welcome back to the 12 steps to aligning yourself to building wealth like the rich. And in today's session, we will be talking about your identity. And this is on the pyramid, the second point, because we already talked about having a defined spiritual / life mission, your chief aim, and we discussed why this is important. And now we're going to discuss your identity and how this is an important part in order for you to build massive wealth and to be financially free. I'm going to tell you to do something. And I do this before I do everything. It's a very powerful thing. Here's a brief explanation. Your mind has come prepared to do or not to do something here today. But not only in this situation, but every single situation in life. And the mindset that you come to the event will predetermine what you get out of the event. Be that trading, be that with your family, be that reading, be that spending time with your family, be that trying to build massive wealth, be that grow your business, be that socializing, be that doing some exercise. And one of the key things that you can do to maximize what you get out of a situation is what you do to your mind before the situation. Because if you don't do something in your mind and tell your mind this is the direction that we are going, it will do what it has always done. And you'll get the same results that you consistently got. And it will filter in and out the same information. Do you follow me so far? Because everything that you come to in life, you have a set of filters. And your brain is saying to you, oh, it's this again. This is what we do in this situation. And you may try and get more out of it and use more willpower to get more out of it. But you won't get any more out of it unless you learn to say to your mind, I want this. A filter basically is this. If you believe a certain race, a certain sex steals, and then your brain will filter out all the good things and will see only when they steal. Aha! I was right. Someone stole. Now, if you believe a certain type of people steal, a certain height steal, a certain race steals, or something like this, and you go to a party, and you think, and somebody says, oh my God, I can't find my wallet. I can't find my wallet. It was just here. And your brain has got a filter saying X, Y, or Z type of person steals. You'll look around. If you see those types of people, you'll go, it was probably them. And that is a filter. You will filter out not other possibilities. Does that make sense to you, John? Your beliefs will filter out and in information. So in a sense, if somebody believes, oh, the 20 moving average is always a high probability place to enter in a trade, that belief will create a filter. It will stop you seeing the fact there was probably something else. It probably wasn't the 20. That belief of mine, of this 20 or a 40 or a 50 or a 200 or a 500 or 1,000, etc., it could be rubbish. It could be something else. But my belief is filtering out everything. You cannot accept every single bit of information that is coming in. You have to. Yes, you can only see what you believe. And the beliefs are filters to the amount of information. There are millions and billions of bits of information coming your direction every single second. Unless I point out something right now, you're probably not even aware of it. You're probably not aware of the sensation of your left leg compared to your right leg. You're probably not aware of the feeling of what you're breathing like. You're probably not aware of the sensation if you're sitting down, what it feels like the pressure is on your bottom or your thighs or your legs, or where you're applying more pressure, because you're filtering out information because there's too much information. But in order to cope with the world, we filter out in order to cope. Does that make sense? So when you come to a situation in life, your brain is going to filter everything, predetermined, says, oh, in this situation we filter this, we filter that. We need to get our minds so that in a situation we see something new, and we say to our mind, this is what I want. So whenever I'm in a situation, the Olympic athletes, they will tell themselves, when I'm in this situation, they will mentally prepare. They don't just run and jump. They'll say to themselves, I'm going to imagine myself doing this, and then I'm going to do this, and then they're going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, and they see the outcome they want. Now, I know most of you guys are here sitting down, listening, or standing up, or on a train, or on a plane, or whatever it is, on your iPod, or looking at your emails, whatever it is. And your brain, you're listening to what I'm saying now, and you're focus really in and carefully pay attention to each and every word that I say. I know the following. Very few of you have got an outcome of what you want out of this. You haven't said, I want X, Y, or Z out of this situation. Or you haven't predetermined how you're going to feel about this situation. You're going to let this situation determine how you feel. Therefore, this situation is, you're not in control. This is controlling you. But if it doesn't live, and funny enough, this could not live up to your expectations. Therefore, that means you've got something in your mind of what you're expecting. If it doesn't fit it, then you go, it doesn't meet my expectations. Therefore, everything's happening is unconscious. Because you're coming along, you're sitting down, you're listening, you're going, I wonder what I'm going to get out of this time. And you're not thinking, right. But if you say to yourself, right, in this situation, I want X, Y, and Z. So like an Olympic athlete who's a peak performer, human performance, and they see themselves performing or getting the most out of something or enjoying something or learning something, the brain will filter that reality. So here's what I'm going to highly recommend you do. I'm going to recommend, I'm assuming that you're in a situation where you can close your eyes unless you're driving a car, which I'm going to say to you, keep your eyes open. So only if you're in a safe situation where you can close your eyes safely, and it doesn't matter how long you close your eyes, if you open your eyes, you'll still be okay. Your limbs will still be attached. You wouldn't have hurt anybody. You're not operating any sort of machinery. If in doubt, please consult a psychiatrist because it means you're crazy if you can't work it out now. Okay? So, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Is everybody in the situation whereby they can close their eyes. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Close your eyes. And I want you to see in front of you an image of yourself sitting down where you're sitting. So it's like it's a big colour photo on a huge, vast cinema screen. A colour image of you sitting there. And I want you to see yourself sitting there like rubbing your hands with like excitement, watching, listening, hearing like this information. And if you see yourself sitting there with excitement, right? See that as like a colour movie in your mind. Now, I don't know who you imagine to be someone who you perceive really intelligent. Me, I like to think of like Einstein or some of my mentors or things like that. So what I want you to do is I want you to imagine somebody really intelligent. I want you to imagine them stepping inside of you. Somebody you think, wow, they've got like a profound understanding of information. And I want you to imagine that person stepping into you. See that person stepping into you with you sitting there. So you're watching this. You're seeing somebody else who you think this person's got profound understanding and abilities. Doesn't matter who it is you choose. Somebody just goes, that person's really clever. They can understand and apply and do. That's a brilliant one. See that person and imagine that person stepping into you. And see that there on that image. You got that? Now, see that new you with that person inside of you, so you can only see you, but with their abilities and skills. I want you to imagine yourself listening to this information through their eyes and their ears, so you're getting something new, a profound new understanding. Then, I want you to change the movie on that video screen, or whatever it is how you're seeing it. Maybe it's a huge television screen, vast cinema screen, or whatever it is, but make it big, bold, bright, and colourful and three-dimensional. Then I want you to see, imagine like some time has gone on and you're seeing yourself going, Eureka, I've got it. It makes sense to me now. I get it. Right? So see that you, with that person inside of you, with those new skills and capabilities, with you going, I get it now, it makes sense. See what kind of expression you'd be doing. Then, imagine now it's the end of this session. And at the end of it, you see yourself going, that's it! And you've got a profound understanding and seeing yourself applying what you've got from this lesson in a unique way, and seeing yourself thinking like, I'm so grateful. Because the sense of gratitude, right, does a tremendous thing. We'll go into that another time when we go into your emotional state. But that sense of gratitude for something will have a phenomenal effect on you. So when you see yourself saying, so grateful that you listened to this and got something phenomenal from it, and a profound understanding, and seeing yourself doing something with the information. Have you got that? Remember, you're seeing this as if you're looking at yourself over there. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go back to the first image of seeing yourself, right? So the first one, so imagine stepping into you, and imagine seeing yourself excited about this whole session, and then step into that. Seeing what you would see, hear what you would hear, feel how good you feel right now. And as you do that, I want you to see, like, imagine now you see like the second image is in front of you, and I want you to see like that powerful person stepped into you. That person who you imagine really intelligent, real profound understanding. And I want you to imagine stepping into that image now, in that situation. So it's as if we're advancing the scenario, this scenario along. So step into that. Step into that you with that person's intelligence and ability, profound understanding, ability to get new insights out of information. And step into that. Seeing what you see, hearing what you hear, feel how good you feel with this new understanding, this new ability, this new skill, this new creative way of thinking, this new genius, right? And imagine what it'd be like to feel that way now. What I want you to do is imagine what was the next scene where you going, I've got it. You've seen yourself with a profound understanding going, I get it now, I get it. It finally makes sense to me. And I want you to see that image now, and I want you to step into that situation. Make it a big, bold, bright, colourful movie as if you're in that situation with that profound understanding going, yes, I get it. It makes sense to me now. Seeing what you're going to see, hearing exactly what you're going to hear. Feel how good you're going to feel that way now. And then I want you to see the last one, the last image of it after the session going, I got it. And then you applying the lesson, applying the information, applying it in a way that it makes a difference. See it making a difference to you financially. Because this isn't about intellect. This is about making a financial difference. But it's only going to make a financial difference if you have like a, I got it, eureka, then go and apply it. So see that and then step into that now. Seeing what you're going to see, hear exactly what you're going to hear, feel how good you're going to feel that way now. Play that movie in your mind right now. That's right. Make it bigger, bolder, brighter, colourful. Make it more vivid, make it more solid, make the sounds louder. Now, open your eyes, and we will begin the session. Now, some of you have heard this story before, some of you haven't. Some of you could be fooled into believing I just like telling you the story, all right? But that's not the case. The story of the scorpion and the frog. One day a scorpion comes to the river, and it says, oh, I've got to get across. And he thinks, how can I get across this river? Then it sees the frog swimming in there. And he says, hey, froggy, froggy. Whistles the froggy. Oh, froggy, oi, mate, come here. What do you want, scorpion? He says, oh, froggy, could you do me a favour? What's that? He stands backwards from him. Could you let me go on your back and get across the river? I don't think so. You're a scorpion. So what's that got to do with anything? He said, you're a scorpion. You sting frogs. You sting people. Scorpion says, don't be so stupid, Mr. Froggy. If I get on your back and I sting you, not only will you die, I'll die. I need to get across the river. You're not using your froggy little mind there. Come on, think about it. If you do that for me, I promise you one time in the future I'll help you out. Froggy says, if I die, he'll die. That's a good point. What would make sense? He says, all right, but are you sure? And Scorpion says, yes, of course I'm sure. You'll be fine, mate. Trust me. So the froggy says, all right, hop on board. Scorpion jumps from the riverbank onto the frog's back. The frog's swimming across going, oh, this is all right. Gets 3/4 of the way. And as it gets 3/4 across the way, the scorpion lifts up its tail and stings the frog. The frog goes, ah! Lifts up and stings again. Ah! Screams the frog, goes, why have you done that? Why have you done that? I'm drowning. He says, because I'm a scorpion, and that's what scorpions do. We sting frogs. Now, what is the moral of this story? You will never, ever, ever deviate from who you believe you are. All your actions, all your behaviors, everything you do is consistent with your perception of yourself. No amount of willpower, no amount of physical effort, no amount of straining, no amount of looking in the mirror going, day by day I'm getting better and better, saying these affirmations to yourself will make no amount of going, that's it, I'm going to do this time I'm going to do it, this time I'm going to do it, will make a single bit of difference to you. You have to remain consistent with your identity. And as I said, traditional positive thinking or willpower to change your behavior to make money does not work. All your actions will be consistent with your feelings and will never deviate from who we believe we are. Let me give you an example of this. Right? Let me give you an example of this. Try telling your heart to speed up and it won't do it, no matter how much willpower you use. However, but if you imagine when you're alone in your house late at night, someone's probably downstairs breaking in, and you hear and you think they've probably got a dangerous weapon, your heart will accelerate. But if you hear, how many times have you been in your house, you heard something and you thought, what was that? What was that? Your imagination comes into play and it makes your body, it makes adrenaline shoot out in your body. You go to the fight or flight system, and it changes your physiology, your chemistry, your neurology, and everything about you changes because of your imagination. But the willpower, trying to change your body, trying to get yourself to do something different, doesn't work. It is all about what happens in your imagination. So your self-image is all about how you see yourself in your mind. It is the inner mirror. It is the map of your unconscious mind, of how you unconsciously look at yourself. It is how you tell yourself, this map, this mirror image of yourself is what tells you how to perform and behave and what results to produce. I will say that again. Your self-image in your mind is telling you what results to get because it's telling you this is who you are. You are constantly, unconsciously looking at this perception of yourself in your mind and going, oh right, I'm like that, am I? Okay, do that. And you'll look at yourself and go, okay. And you'll see the world and you'll see something that you want or what you want to produce, but your brain unconsciously looks back at the perception of yourself, your unconscious self-image, and says, behave like that. Produce results like that are consistent with that. And there is a reason for this, and it's to do with avoiding pain and gaining pleasure. Because we have perceived ourselves in a certain way that we believe if we act consistently with this way, it will help us to avoid pain. And if we go against it, we perceive it will mean pain. And we perceive if we act consistent with this self-image, it will mean emotional, physical, neurological pleasure. So your self-image is like a self-defense mechanism, telling you how to produce, what to produce, how to behave, and what results you're supposed to get in your life. And trying to deviate from this is your unconscious mind saying, but if you do anything different from this, pain, emotional pain, physical pain, life pain. And your neurology, the part of your mind, there's a part of your mind called reticular activator. And that reticular activator will filter out situations to make sure you remain consistent with that perception of yourself. As I said, the reason this is so powerful is because you will not get anything, a single thing in this world that you want. You will only get more of who you believe you are. You will only get what is consistent with this perception of yourself. Sometimes you get people in life who people could perceive them as somebody not necessarily the best looking type of person in the world, but they believe they're beautiful. They believe they're attractive and everything they do is attractive. And the funny thing is, because of their perception of themselves, they will filter out any information by somebody else which is not consistent with that identity of themselves. Someone will go, oh, get lost, da, da, da. Then their brain can say, I never get rejected, I just discover if someone else has got good taste. So they've got supporting beliefs that help them to remain consistent with that. Somebody says to them, oh gosh, get lost, you're ugly, you're not my type. And then their mind will go, oh, thank God, I just discovered somebody, that's obviously not a nice person who's worth hanging out with, or me spending my quality time with and deserving of my love. And then they meet somebody, and because they're so strong-willed, such a strong sense of self-identity, of their own beauty within themselves, they then find somebody, and someone says, how the hell did that person get that person? Because of their perception of themselves in relationship to that other person. They believe that in themselves, they see themselves as a beautiful person, they see themselves as an attractive person, they see themselves as a loving person, they see themselves as one of the most amazing. Do you understand? The results that they're getting in their life is consistent with their identity. Whereas we could have somebody who could be really good looking but perceives themselves as ugly. They meet somebody, somebody says, what's wrong with you? Why do you think you're ugly? You're beautiful. But how they then communicate to somebody else might make them doubt, well, yeah, they are good looking, but, they'll say about them, they are good looking, but X, Y, and Z about them, and this isn't good about them, and that isn't about them. And then their results, the results of this perceived good-looking person is, they don't end the car. I can't meet somebody. I can't keep somebody. It's because I'm ugly. So their behaviors are consistent with their identity. You will act consistent with who you believe you are, which is why you get poor people, broke people, struggling people, unemployed people, employed people, etc. A big chunk of it is to do with your perception of yourself, your identity. You are looking and checking on your unconscious self-image to how you're supposed to behave. So, if you want to know right now how you see yourself, look no further than the results from what you have in your life. And until you change your self-image, do not expect different results. So if you're going, oh, I haven't got any money, it is a reflection of your self-image. You are telling yourself that is how much money you're supposed to have. Oh, I'm not financially free, I'm not making consistent income. It is a reflection of the self-image of how you see yourself. If you see yourself as broke, struggling, you can try and use as much as much willpower. This time I'm going to do it, this time I'm going to do it. Let me tell you this right now. Your brain, your unconscious mind is looking back at the mirror and saying, how am I supposed to behave? Okay, right. And it will filter out all the beautiful money-making opportunities that they are because it's not consistent with your identity. And your brain will say, this will equal pain. Now, I highly recommend everybody reads this book. It's by Maxwell Maltz. It's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. In the 70s, Maxwell Maltz, a famous plastic surgeon, discovered that if he changed someone's outside via plastic surgery, it would change their perception of themselves. This would alter their lives, what they were able to do, because it altered their perception of themselves on the inside. However, he discovered that some people he changed on the outside, they somehow didn't change their perception of themselves on the inside. So nothing changed. Because how they were seeing the plastic surgery on the outside was a reflection of how they saw it in their mind. And as a result, nothing in their life changed. So he discovered and said that these people were scarred on the inside. He said it was to do with their blueprint. So what he had them do was he had them do a series of exercises which changed their perception of themselves from the inside, which altered how they saw the outside world, which altered the actual results that they were able to achieve. Now, as a result of this, he then thought, what would happen if I didn't do plastic surgery on some of these people? What would happen if I just took some of these people and changed them from the inside without doing the plastic surgery on the outside? Would this change their lives? And it did. So from doing a series of exercises on the inside, changing their perception of themselves, this changed how they saw the outside world. This changed what they were able to do, produce, the results. Because, as I've said, and I'm saying it again and again and again and again, how you see yourself on the inside, you will be consistent with that. The internal mirror will tell you how to act, behave, and what results to produce. Because these patients of Maxwell Maltz saw in their internal mirror things that they did not like. And that's what they were responding to unconsciously. So no matter what he did to them on the outside, the internal mirror had not changed. By changing their internal mirror, he changed how they saw the world, how they acted upon the world, their decision-making processes in the world, and the results that they produced in the world. So by changing your internal world, the internal mirror, you transform what you are able to produce in the real world. The self-image in your mind is determining what results you are getting. Look at your finances. Look at your bank account. It is a reflection of how you are unconsciously looking in that mirror, the unconscious mirror in your mind, to tell yourself how to produce, what results to produce. Does this make sense? As Maxwell Maltz said, we act, perform, and behave and produce results according to what we consider this self-image to be, and we will not deviate from this. If you're saying, why am I doing this? Why am I not making... Because your unconscious mind is protecting you to remain consistent with your identity. Why am I not doing this? Because you're remaining consistently with your identity. Why can't I get myself to do that? Because you're remaining consistent with your identity. Have I hammered the point home? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you follow me? Does this make sense? So here's the thing. People are saying, I want to have $1 million, pounds, euros. And then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy stocks, property, do a business, commodities, or save some cash, whatever. And then once I've done that, I will be a millionaire. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Because what you have is a reflection of who you believe you are. Your being. Human being. Your being. Who are you being? Who you're being is a reflection of your identity. It works this way. Who you are, you will do consistently with a perception of who you believe you are. And what you do consistently will determine what you have. Not the other way around, thinking I'm going to have this, so I'm going to do this, so I'll be. It won't work that way. Who you believe you are will determine what you consistently do. What you consistently do will determine what you consistently have, keep, and stays around. So you need to change your identity. Now, those of you who've got my 12-part course on this, have seen me talk about this many times, and I've explained this in greater detail on that program, where I talk about how when I was doing television hosting and entertainment and comedy and things like that, when I was at university, said, you know what? I'm a light entertainment presenter. In my mind, I saw myself as a light entertainment TV presenter. I was convinced I was. I was doing everything about it. And my friend, who had equal talent, capability, skills, started before I did, said, I'm a graphic designer, but one day I'm going to be. Me is an identity. Now he is a graphic designer based on those statements. Guess what? Having finished university, within a very short amount of time, even betting a national paper that I was going to be presenting on television within a matter of weeks, having finished university, I said, well, I promise you now, by the end of this year, I'll present on national television. I bet you your whole year's salary, I said to the reporter. And I was. Because I knew, and it was my destiny. I knew that's who I was there then at that moment in time. Right? And I was. And my friend has done a little bit every now and then. In fact, he's never presented. He's presented a couple of things, but he never became a TV presenter. My perception of myself, my identity. I wouldn't do anything but. I refused to take any other situation because it was aligned with my identity. Who do you believe you are? I can tell you this right now. I learned how to do this, just that one thing, and it transformed my career in being a light entertainment TV presenter, becoming one of the most eligible bachelors in the UK, setting up an entertainment business, becoming financially free by the time of 33, having come from a background of having zero money, growing up poor, finishing school with no qualifications, then going to university, ending up getting a degree, being some other university wanted me to come on their course and do an MBA and all sorts of things like this. But the point was because it was... Part of that was to do with changing my perception of myself. In fact, that was a big chunk of it, was changing my perception of myself. I was told I was stupid. I then changed my perception of myself. I then started doing memory training courses, and I could remember, read a book. You could give me any book, I could read it. You could say to me, what was on page 72, and I would say to you, which paragraph, and I could tell you exactly what it said verbatim. I could revise for my exams within 3 days. I would know every book because I changed my perception of myself. I started believing I was intelligent. I started believing I had a phenomenal memory, how I saw myself. That then determined what I did consistently, then produced the results of that. Changed that. I then started thinking I was free, financially free and rich, and then set up a business which gave me massive passive income. So that, my friends, changing your identity will change your financial future. Which is why you get lottery winners who believe they're poor, give them a whole load of money, and then they lose it in no time at all. And which is why you've got people like Donald Trump, who was worth billions, lost it, went to minus, I think it was like minus 3 or 4 billion, and within 3 years had it back. Because he, in his mind, perceived himself and saw himself as a billionaire. So we always deviate back to where we believe we are. And I can tell you this right now. And this is a very scary thought. Some of you think if you were just given the money, it would change your life. Oh, it would. It would temporarily. Because in no amount of time, you'd be straight back to where you are now, plus or minus one standard deviation. Right? Most people would be minus one standard deviation, i.e., you'd be 10% on average worse off financially within 3 to 5 years, having given you millions. Because you are going to remain consistent with your identity, you're going to remain consistent with your values, you're going to remain consistent with your beliefs. So you change the situation, temporary, that is it. Unless you permanently change your psychology to keep the money. Otherwise you'll be like a lottery winner. Oh no, just give me the chance, Patrick. I won't. I'll use my willpower. I'll force myself to do it. Statistically, it has been proven you're going to spend the money and you're going to be like a consumer. And if you doubt it, look at your behaviors right now. How much of your money are you saving? How much are you investing? How much are you driven just to accumulate wealth because you love wealth building and accumulating wealth just for the sake of it? No. Very few people. 1% of the world, which is why only 1% of the world have wealth and are financially free. Because most people want the money to spend it. What else is there for? They want to spend it for the lifestyle. That is the point. That is why you're in the situation that you're in the situation. You have to change your identity, your beliefs and your values in order to produce the same results of what wealthy and rich people have. You have to think like them, value what they value, some of the same about money, and have the same beliefs as them about money, trading and investing. Otherwise, you'll just do what you're currently doing now, which has got you to the situation that you're in right now. Okay? So, how do you define yourself? What differentiates you from anyone? Who are you? Some people define themselves in terms of emotion. Oh, I'm a loving person. I'm a caring person. I'm such a happy person. I'm a sad person. I'm a peaceful person. Right? Some people define themselves in terms of their roles. I'm a mom. I'm a student. I'm a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an achiever. Right? Some people label themselves based on their jobs. I'm a doctor, a priest, or a lawyer, or a teacher. Some people define themselves in terms of metaphor. I'm a king of a hill. I'm the winner of the game. I'm a mover and a shaker. Some people define themselves based on their feedback, their religion, how they look, their accomplishments, or what they're not. My task for you, and I want you to be honest, tell the truth, is to list how do you honestly perceive yourself. If somebody was going to write down who you are, let's imagine you saw somebody who looked like you, behaved like you, and you're going to write down who they were. Not you, because you'll tend to lie about yourself, but you won't somebody else. You'll be honest about them and lie about yourself. I want you to imagine somebody over there that looks like you, behaves like you, talks like you, the same person that you probably wouldn't give you money to invest, but you'd probably do it yourself, right? I want you to write it down and go, if I was going to be honest and describe that person over there, who are they? Write that down. Because that will tell you why you have the results that you have and who you are and what you need to work on. And in the next session, we will be talking about your values. Because I'll tell you this, who you believe you are will define your consistent focus. Your consistent focus will determine what you value, what you consider valuable. And your values will determine the results that you get. And that's in the next session. So till then, thank you very much.